that the kids are all set, maybe you got the school supplies and you're all ready to go, before you know it, it's off to the bus for the first day of school. This morning, TV6's Ansley Watson is talking about school bus safety. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. We're out here at Westwood High School, surrounded by a fleet of the nice community school buses, and there's so many out here. So not only are they a convenient way to get your kids to school, but they're actually quite reliable when it comes to safety. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, school buses are designed to be safer than passenger vehicles and avoiding crashes and preventing injury. They are also the safest mode of transportation for getting children back and forth to school. And on an annual basis, school buses keep around 17.3 million cars off roads surrounding schools each morning. So later in the hour, we'll talk specifically more about bus safety and all of the frequent questions asked about buses. Reporting live in West Ishpeming, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley.
Welcome back.
And it's 11 after the hour. In a little more than a week, the streets across the Upper Peninsula will become even busier because school starts up. Ansley Watson is talking with us this morning about how to keep kids safe in the traffic and drivers safe as well. Morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. You know, school buses are one of the safest modes of transportation. They're not just a way of getting kids back and forth to school, but they're quite reliable. And here this morning, joining me to talk a little bit more about safety of buses is the superintendent of the Nice Community School District, Brian DeAugustine. Brian, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So, first question. I know that parents with kids who are just started going off to school. What would make them feel comfortable with letting their kids get on the buses?
You know, it's one of the safest forms of transportation to get students to and from school. The National Safety Council says it's 40 times safer than driving your student to school yourself or having them walk to school. So we're very happy with the safety record of our bus drivers and our bus fleet.
And what do the school bus drivers have to go through? Some sort of training to get certified?
They do. They have CDLs and then two separate levels, a P endorsement for passengers and then an S endorsement for school buses. So they go through extensive training. They're some of the most trained staff we have, and they are tested every year and get refresher courses to make sure that they're up to speed on all the new rules and regulations.
Great. And I know that school buses keep a lot of cars off the road, so this is helping the environment out. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, it's a sort of a form of mass transportation. We have 23 buses that run every day to and from school. We transport about 850 kids out of our 1,200 student population. So it is a great way to, kind of pull together as a community and bring the students to and from school in an efficient way.
Yeah, so you have 4 different schools or towns coming to the school, correct?
Well, we actually service 7 townships, and it's a 700 square mile district, so it's very large geographically, and we pull kids from all corners of western Marquette County.
Well, yeah, so that's a lot of buses going out every morning to get so many kids. That's awesome. All right, so later in the hour, we will talk more about safety and regulations of school buses and just what can to make parents feel a little bit more comfortable about letting their kids go off to school on these buses. Reporting live in West Ishpeming, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley, helping folks get ready for the start of the school year. Right. Like we said, just a little bit more than a week away.
Yeah,
you've got like 2 weekends left, but really next weekend's Labor Day. How much shopping are you going to do?
Not only do school buses provide some fun memories for the kids on their way to the classroom, they're also a safe way of transportation. We're joined live by TV6's Ansley Watson to talk more about bus safety this morning. And Ansley, I only hope you're behaving on the bus this morning. How's it going there?
I'm always good when I ride the bus. I'm always great. We're out here at Westwood High School, joined by the superintendent of the Nice Community School District, Brian DeAugustine, and he's going to talk to us a little bit more about bus safety. So, Brian, thank you again for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, so I know that that buses, if you ride on them, you see they don't have seatbelts. Why don't they have seatbelts?
You know, that's a good question. People ask that a lot. The way buses are designed, because they ride so much higher than other vehicles, and because of the way that the seats are spaced, it's not just done for capacity, it's done for safety. So if you can imagine kind of like an egg carton, buses are designed to absorb any impact that might happen. And again, they're very safe. They're 40 times safer than riding in a car or walking to school. But they provide passive restraint rather than the active restraint of a seatbelt, and so the kids are very safe in the buses if anything were to happen.
Great. I know we're on a newer bus right now. It's very nice. We got big seats, nice legroom. This is awesome.
Yes, again, a lot of engineering goes into the buses, and bus manufacturers have been in business for many, many years. So they take safety very seriously, and they make sure that the kids are comfortable. But again, with the seats and in the way that they're designed and the way that they're spaced, the kids are very safe.
And what are some rules that drivers need to look out for whenever they see a bus on the road?
The biggest thing is to pay attention to the lights. If there are red flashing lights, you've got to stop, give the buses plenty of room, because that means kids are loading or unloading. So that's just as important as an emergency vehicle, for instance, like an ambulance. You want to make sure to obey those lights. The yellow lights that come on and flash, that's a signal that the red lights are about to come on, just like a stoplight. And drivers need to be very aware that there are lots of little kids coming to school and going home from school. And just to slow down in general at the start of the year, because obviously buses from all districts will be on the road, and kids will be walking and riding to school every day.
And what advice would you give a child who hasn't been on a bus before and it's their first time riding? What would you tell them?
The most important thing is to listen to the driver's instructions. So to, enter and exit the bus nice and safely and calmly, and be sure to sit down at all times, because that is another part of bus safety. If they're seated in their seats, they're perfectly safe, and it gives us a nice, good ride. So students just need to make sure that they follow their driver's instructions and remain seated all the time.
Great. Thank you so much for more safety tips about buses. And we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break. Ansley Watson, TV6 News.